Before you scroll away, take a breath and stay right here. Because what unfolded behind the glitz of K-pop's 2025 award season wasn't just another stage performance, it was a revelation. On the surface, everything looked polished. Perfectly timed choreographies, bright smiles, glittering trophies. But beneath the lights, something else was happening. Quiet, invisible, and far more powerful than the fans cheering in the crowd. In a year dominated by numbers, streams, and trending hashtags, one question lingered among industry insiders: how much of this perfection is real, and how much is survival? Every idol standing under that spotlight carries a story written in sweat, exhaustion, and silence. The music charts may show hits, but they don't show the mental cost of maintaining them. Contracts, company control, and fan expectations form a system that rewards perfection and punishes honesty. And when the data points shift unexpectedly, when a group surges despite controversy or falls despite success, people begin to whisper, what really drives K-pop forward? 2025 became the year when the facade cracked. Fandom wars escalated from social media battles to real-world consequences. Allegations of mistreatment surfaced, contracts were exposed, and hidden rivalries between agencies spilled into the open. Fans thought they knew everything, but the truth was more tangled than any headline. Behind every smiling idol photo lies the pressure to perform flawlessly, even when the cameras stop rolling. The drama isn't only about who wins or loses, it's about who survives. Every applause hides exhaustion, every encore hides fear. And yet, fans keep watching. Because K-pop isn't just entertainment, it's emotion, obsession, and identity wrapped in sound and image. So before you click away, remember this: every statistic you see hides a story worth uncovering. Stay with us, because what happens next will change the way you look at K-pop forever. Subscribe now, and let's dig deeper into the truth behind the glamour. By the time the lights fade and the confetti settles, the real game begins. In K-pop, the war doesn't end on stage, it only shifts platforms. Behind every award, there's a silent clash between agencies, producers, and even fans, each fighting for control over the narrative. What the public sees as friendly competition is, in truth, a constant tug-of-war between art and authority. In 2025, that balance broke. Anonymous posts from former trainees and staff began surfacing online, describing an environment where every decision was calculated for profit, not passion. Trainees spoke of endless rehearsals, strict diets, and emotional manipulation details that had long been whispered about but never confirmed. When one insider leaked private documents revealing power struggles within a major agency, the fandoms exploded. Suddenly, hashtags that once promoted music turned into weapons of outrage. But the chaos wasn't random, it exposed a truth many had ignored. Idols are not just artists, they're investments. And when a company fears losing control of its assets, it fights back with everything it has. Some groups were forced into silence. Others were pushed into overdrive, performing as if nothing had happened while their management scrambled to contain the narrative. Social media became the new battlefield. Fanbases turned into digital armies, launching campaigns, boycotts, and counterattacks. Rumors spread faster than official statements, and the line between truth and manipulation blurred. Even those outside the fandom could feel the tension, something dark pulsing under the surface of every trending topic. As more insiders began to speak, one phrase echoed across discussions: the show never stops. And maybe that's the real problem. In an industry built on constant performance, there's no room to pause, no time to heal, no way to step off the stage. Every apology is a script, every silence a strategy. Still, people keep watching. Because deep down, everyone wants to know who's really pulling the strings and who will break free first. Then came the kind of headline agencies fear most, the one that doesn't fade after a weekend. A top-tier group, one that had spent years selling sisterhood and unity, suddenly found itself trapped in a corporate chess match. The public saw a delayed comeback and a vague schedule adjustment. Insiders saw something else: negotiations collapsing behind closed doors. In K-pop, contracts aren't just paperwork, they're control systems. Who owns the stage name? Who decides the music? Who approves a haircut? Who gets a solo? Who is allowed to rest? And in 2025, one leaked clause lit a fuse. Fans realized the members weren't only fighting the industry's pressure, they were fighting over their own time, their own bodies, their own futures. What made the situation so volatile was how fast the story split into two realities. Official statements said everyone was in discussion, but then staff began quietly resigning. A producer unfollowed the company. A family member liked a post about exploitation. Suddenly, The fandom wasn't debating music anymore. It was debating loyalty. If you defended the agency, you were called a corporate shill. If you defended the idols, you were accused of destroying the group. And here's where it got darker. Rival companies didn't stay neutral. Rumors appeared at exactly the wrong moments, right before fan meetings, right before brand deals, right before award voting windows. In an ecosystem driven by attention, scandal isn't an accident, it's leverage. The more the noise grew, the more the group's numbers did something strange. Streams stayed high, but public appearances shrank. Popularity didn't protect them. It boxed them in. Because once an idol's image becomes a battleground, every move is interpreted as betrayal. A smile becomes forced. A silence becomes guilty. A solo schedule becomes proof of internal conflict. And the question everyone kept circling was simple. If they can't agree behind the scenes, what happens the next time they're expected to stand together on stage? Once the story leaked, it didn't stay inside the company walls. It spilled into timelines, group chats, Discord servers, and comment sections like gasoline finding a spark. What used to be playful rivalry between fandoms turned into something colder: organized harassment, mass reporting campaigns, and coordinated narratives designed to bury whatever didn't fit the preferred version of reality. The industry knows this dynamic too well. When controversy erupts, agencies don't only release statements. They watch the fan reaction like a live dashboard. Because in K-pop, public opinion isn't just a response, it's a weapon. One side demanded transparency, convinced the group had been cornered by contracts and exhaustion. The other side insisted it was fake drama, that anyone questioning the company was sabotaging the idols' careers. And in the middle were casual listeners, confused by how fast the conversation turned violent. Then something even more unsettling happened. The more chaotic it became, the more algorithms rewarded it. Clips with ominous music and hidden proof edits surged. Old interviews were cut into new accusations. A harmless glance between members became evidence of hatred. And every time a rumor was disproven, a new one replaced it, sharper and louder, like the truth was too slow to compete. Meanwhile, the idols kept appearing in public with the same practiced smiles. That's the part people forget. They don't get to log off. They can't mute the noise. They step onto stages while their names trend for reasons they didn't choose. They accept awards while strangers argue over whether they deserve them. They live inside a machine that demands gratitude, even when the machine is tearing them apart. By late 2025, the question wasn't whether the fandom war would end. It was whether anyone involved still remembered what the music sounded like before the fighting. Because once the audience becomes the battlefield, the next move isn't about charts or trophies. It's about who can survive the crowd. When the lights go down and the crowd's roar fades into a hum, there's a silence that feels heavier than the music ever did. That's the sound idols hear when they step off stage after giving everything they had to a system that never truly sleeps. For years, the K-pop industry has hidden its fractures behind flawless choreography and million-view performances. But in 2025, the cracks became impossible to ignore. What started as fan conflict evolved into a full-blown identity crisis for the industry itself. Managers, stylists, and producers began leaking anonymous accounts describing burnout and fear. They spoke about schedules designed with machine precision, about idols collapsing behind curtains and getting up before anyone noticed. Contracts became cages lined with gold. Freedom came only in rumors, artists trying to terminate deals, managers resigning under pressure, fans realizing that their favorite moments of joy were built on exhaustion. The most shocking part wasn't the scandals themselves, it was how predictable they had become. Every time a controversy hit, companies responded with the same pattern: deny, distract, and debut something new. New groups became bandages for old wounds. The audience moved on, but the wounds never healed. Hidden beneath every comeback teaser and perfectly styled photo was a cycle of silence that no one dared to break. Yet, something changed this year. The public stopped accepting the illusion. Fans began demanding accountability, not just apologies. Journalists started digging into training systems, financial structures, and manipulation tactics that had been normalized for decades. For the first time, the conversation shifted from gossip to consequence. Because behind every glittering trophy lies a cost, and behind every polished smile is someone who's learned that survival often matters more than success. As this chapter of K-pop's evolution closes, one truth remains: the show must go on. But not like before. The next era will be defined not by who wins the most awards, but by who dares to tell the truth about what it takes to stand under those lights. If you've stayed until now, you already know this isn't just about music, it's about humanity inside a machine built for perfection. So don't stop here. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and share your thoughts below. Because the next story will go even deeper into the world behind the stage, the place where fame and fear collide, and the real drama begins.